6 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Zahra Sikandar. First, the headlines. Prime Minister has reaffirmed Pakistan's desire to further strengthen the partnership with the European Union. DG ISPR says India is sponsoring terrorism and subversion in Balochistan to destabilize Pakistan. Acting President has called for coordinated efforts to manage country's rapidly growing population. Pakistan has welcomed signing of treaty on delimitation and demarcation of Kyrgyz-Tajik border. In Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, APHC leader Mirwais Umar Farooq was placed under house arrest in Srinagar today. And Pakistan qualified for Davis Cup Juniors final by beating Vietnam in Malaysia today. Now the news in detail. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has reaffirmed Pakistan's desire to further strengthen its partnership with the European Union, particularly through the continuation of the GSP Plus scheme. He was talking to European Union Ambassador Dr. Rina Kionanka, who paid a courtesy call on him in Islamabad today. The Prime Minister said GSP Plus scheme has benefited both sides since its implementation. He said Pakistan and the European Union enjoy cordial and friendly ties and expressed satisfaction at the positive momentum in these relations. Prime Minister welcomed the convening of the first ever Pakistan High-Level Business Forum in Islamabad to be held in May. He assured the European Union Ambassador of Pakistan's full support and facilitation in making this event successful. Shehbaz Sharif also thanked the European Union Ambassador for expressing condolences on the recent terrorist attack on Jafar Express train in Balochistan and conveyed Pakistan's firm resolve to eliminate the scourge of terrorism from the country. The European Union Ambassador briefed the Prime Minister about recent visits by European Union delegations to Pakistan and the upcoming Pakistan-European Union engagements. Finance Minister Mohammad Aurangzeb has expressed government's commitment to support European Union businesses in Pakistan and facilitate their operations. Talking to Ambassador of the European Union, Dr. Rina Kionka, in Islamabad, he expressed appreciation for the European Union's support for Pakistan, particularly the importance of the Generalized Scheme of Preferences Plus facility. He highlighted the GSP Plus has been a critical enabler of Pakistan's efforts to drive export-led growth. The two sides reaffirmed their shared commitment to create a thriving and mutually beneficial business environment. Dr. Kionka emphasized that European companies are increasingly viewing Pakistan as a hub for potential business opportunities. Director General of ISPR, Lieutenant General Ahmed Sharif Chaudhry, has said India is sponsoring terrorism and subversion in Balochistan to destabilize Pakistan. He was addressing a joint news conference along with Chief Minister Balochistan, Mir Sarfraz Bugti, in Islamabad today. The Director General said India was running a misinformation warfare by using AI-generated images and fake videos on its mainstream media during ensuing operations against terrorists involved in an attack on Jafar Express. Giving detail of the incident, Ahmad Sharif Chaudhry said terrorists were taking instructions from their handlers in Afghanistan. He said terrorists intercepted the train with improvised explosive device, making it dysfunctional. Earlier, before attacking the train, terrorists raided a nearby FC picket, martyring 3 personnel. He said 26 passengers were martyred in the incident. He said that some passengers were martyred before the launch of the operation by the security forces, and not a single casualty happened during the conduct of the operation. He said out of the total 26 casualties, 18 were from the Army and FC, 3 were from railways and other departments, while 5 were civilians. He said 354 passengers were rescued and 37 of them were injured. Acting President Syed Yusuf Raza Gilani has called for coordinated efforts by the federal and provincial governments to manage the country's rapidly growing population. He was chairing a meeting on population management in Islamabad today. The acting president said the challenge of growing population needs collective efforts, especially the support of the provinces to successfully implement the National Action Plan on Population. Syed Yusuf Raza Gilani underscored the need to increase people's access to family Planning Services. The meeting was also informed that a National Action Plan on Population was implemented from 2019 to 2024, and a revised National Action Plan on Population from 2025 to 2030 has been developed in consultation with the provinces. The National Assembly's continuing discussion on the President's address to the joint sitting of the Parliament. Participating in the debate, Usman Badini emphasized the need to address the grievances of the people of Balochistan. He said practical steps need to be taken to resolve the problems of the province. Sheikh Aftab Ahmed said all the political parties, while setting aside their differences, should sit together to find solutions to the challenges, especially that of terrorism. Sahar Kamran commended the security forces for successfully completing the operation against terrorists who had attacked Jafar Express in Balochistan. She said President Asif Ali Zardari in his address highlighted key aspects to effectively deal with the issue of terrorism. Minister of State for Interior Dalal Chaudhry has said that social media facilitators of banned BLA will be treated as accomplices and held accountable accordingly. He said that both the BLA and the TTP have the same patron and they enjoy backing from a neighboring country. He clarified that there is no insurgency in Balochistan and acts like the attack on Jafar Express are terrorism. Dalal Chaudhry commended the security forces for successfully carrying out the operation against the attackers. The House has now been adjourned to meet again on Monday at 2 in the afternoon. This is Radio Pakistan. Pakistan has welcomed signing of the Treaty of the Delimitation and Demarcation of Kyrgyz-Tajik border. The Foreign Office, in a statement today, said that Pakistan congratulates the leadership and the brotherly people of Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan on this landmark agreement, which marks the end of a prolonged border dispute. The Foreign Office said Pakistan is confident that this historical development will usher in a new era of cooperation and progress in the region. In Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the authorities once again placed All Hurriyat Party's conference senior leader Mirwais Umar Farooq under house arrest at his residence in Srinagar today. The purpose of this detention was to prevent him from delivering the Friday sermon and offering congregational prayers at the historic Jamia Masjid in Srinagar. Meanwhile, Anjumani Awqaf of Jamia Masjid Srinagar in its statement expressed deep disappointment and regret over the house detention of Mirwais Umar Farooq. It said this arbitrary and unjustified move by the authorities comes at a time when the holy month of Ramadan is going on. On the other hand, People's Democratic Party President Mehbooba Mufti said that Bharatiya Janata Party is deliberately fueling communal tensions to divert attention from pressing public issues. Mehbooba Mufti, while talking to reporters in Srinagar, said BJP thrives on polarizing society and targeting Muslims to further its political agenda. The World Food Programme has announced to cut humanitarian support for Myanmar from next month because of critical shortfalls in funding. According to a statement, operations in Afghanistan, parts of Africa and refugee camps in Bangladesh will also be affected due to financial hardships of the organization. Pakistan has qualified for Davis Cup Juniors final by beating Vietnam in the semi-final by 2-1 in Kishnang, Malaysia. Pakistan will now face Indonesia in the final tomorrow. And finally, the weather. Rain, wind, thunderstorm with light snow over the high mountains is expected at isolated places in Punjab, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, northeast Balochistan, Kashmir, and Gilgit-Baltistan during the next 12 hours. And to end the news, we're going to flip the headlines. Prime Minister has reaffirmed Pakistan's desire to further strengthen its partnership with the European Union. DG ISPR says India is sponsoring terrorism and subversion in Balochistan to destabilize Pakistan. Acting President has called for coordinated efforts to manage country's rapidly growing population. And with this, we come to the end of the news for the moment. For more news and analysis, visit our website radio.gov.pk.